All right. Meanwhile, China's defense minister kicking off a 4-day trip to Russia by meeting with President Vladimir Putin in Moscow yesterday. The two hailing their country's military cooperation less than a month after Chinese leaders Xi Jinping and Putin pledged to, quote, deepen military mutual trust after their meeting in Russia. Joining me right now is the Heritage Foundation Senior Fellow for China Strategy and author of The 100-Year Marathon, which is a must-read. Michael Pillsbury is here. Michael, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Maria.
So what do you make of this relationship, this increasing partnership between China and Russia? We know that just a few weeks ago, Xi Jinping made it clear that he is preparing China for war.
I think you're seeing that President Biden's effort to prevent this from happening, this Chinese-Russian cooperation in the military area, I think Biden's efforts have failed. He seems to be unable to get any leverage or any influence on Xi Jinping. He brags about, Biden brags about spending hours and hours with Xi Jinping, but it doesn't seem to work. And in sort of issue area after issue area, the Chinese are openly defying requests that Biden makes publicly not to do something. So it's very scary because, as you know very well from your interview yesterday with Mike McCall, Biden is now saying, please don't invade Taiwan. If they push that aside and go ahead anyway, it's going to be a disaster. So I've asked the Chinese, why do you do this? Why do you? Joe Biden is sort of your friend. He just wants competition. Why do you keep ignoring him? You know what the answer is? They say because John Kerry is our friend and climate change is the most important issue that Biden wants, and we're trying to help him with climate change. So this shows the cynicism the Chinese have about the Biden administration. They can pretty much do whatever they want, Maria.
Well, listen, I mean, the truth is why wouldn't they think that? Because they've been able to do whatever they want, right? I mean, you've got an entire COVID-19 pandemic leaking from a Wuhan lab, and China said absolutely no investigation, and the whole world went along with it. We're not allowed to go to Wuhan and do a proper investigation. They tried to cover it up the whole time. And then you've got a surveillance balloon traversing America for a week, and there was nothing done there either. And the only thing we hear from Biden is, we do not seek conflict with China. What kind of an answer is that? They refuse to call them an adversary, only a competitor. You're right. Michael McCall, the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, joined me yesterday to discuss the potential for a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. He was in Taiwan. He said they're not ready. He's trying to get them the weapons that they already ordered and paid for. Here's what he told me yesterday. Watch. Are they ready at this point? What can you tell us about the readiness, putting those weaponry aside?
You know, they have a ways to go. I signed off on 22 weapon systems, Maria, 3 years ago, some as long as 5 years ago, that have yet to go into Taiwan. They've actually paid for these weapons. So when I meet with President Tsai, her first question is, when am I going to get my weapons? And why is that important? Because the weapons provide the deterrence. The deterrence promotes peace and stops conflict. If we have no deterrence, just like Ukraine, if we have no deterrence on the ground in Taiwan, rest assured Chairman Xi will make that calculation.
Michael, one thing that McCall told me was that he's trying to get the ISR or the Starlink system into Taiwan. That would give Taiwan eyes and ears on the ground into China's backyard. Taiwan doesn't have that. And he says he's going to push for that. What is your reaction to what he said about those weapons? And why, you know, does it make sense to you that they still haven't been delivered? He said that they can't make the weapons fast enough. But, Michael, it's been 5 years.
Maria, a great deal depends on Chairman Mike McCall. He has the legislative power that the Mike Gallagher Select Committee does not have. So his weight applied to the Taiwan issue overall, applied to China, could make a huge difference. But so far, the Biden administration seems to be finessing him. They're not giving him direct answers. Some Biden staffers I know have said they're simply not going to do anything Mike McCall asked them to do. He would have to use really strong measures like appropriations being held up for the State Department. blocking confirmation of senior officials. To get the attention of the Biden White House, it's going to take a lot more than just talking about it. That's why the Heritage Foundation is putting out a checklist of 100 recommendations. We're trying to see who is voting against these recommendations, who is helping China in the Congress. Right now, we don't know. We know there are heroes like Mike McCall who want to do something. But again and again, Maria, legislation gets proposed. Marco Rubio had a technology czar idea for the White House. Nobody voted for it. So we don't understand why the power of the China lobby is so strong inside the Congress. That's got to be exposed in order to help people like Mike McCall, who wants to push ahead. But it has to be done in a bipartisan way. We find some Democrats are coming around now. Ro Khanna, for example, Raja Krishnamurthy. This is a very good tendency to nourish. But without this Heritage Foundation checklist of what's being voted on, we're not going to know how powerful the China lobby still is here in Washington. I think it's pretty powerful, Maria.
That's very good about the checklist. But I mean, the impact of all of this is so extraordinary. Look at this map that we showed a minute ago of the region. And to think that 60% of global trade moves through the Taiwanese Straits shows you the impact that all of this could have on the world. Also, 90% of the advanced semiconductor manufacturing happening in Taiwan. So if China moves in and blockades this island nation and shuts it down through cyber, the whole world gets impacted.
Well, that's certainly true, and I think it's why China has a two-pronged strategy. The first prong is pretty obvious, the military threats, the exercises, having jet fighters in the air, even while Congressman McCall's delegation was in Taiwan. But the other prong is really more deadly and more dangerous. They're trying to undermine the DPP party, President Tsai, in Taiwan, and push forward the other party, the so-called KMT or Nationalist Party. Their former president, who was president for 8 years, he just made the first visit to China for almost 2 weeks of any former Taiwan president. He's issued attacks now on Taiwan's current leader that she wants war, whereas he wants peace and to cooperate with China. So the Chinese are not stupid. They know that if they can show a split in the Taiwan leadership, it's going to affect American politics. It also affects the use of force and coercion. If you've got this big split on Taiwan, with some saying we're pro-China, some saying we're a democracy, please defend us. It's all the more reason why the mystery of these $19 billion of weapons is so important. What in the world has happened to these weapons?
Yeah, and that's why we constantly ask, what does China have on Joe Biden, and what's with the slow response? You're so spot on, as usual, Michael. One of the things that Mike McCall said yesterday is that the CCP will first try to affect the election in Taiwan, and that's happening in January 2024. But if they don't get their guy in there, who just visited Beijing while they were on the ground in Taiwan, then they'll move to Plan B, which is a blockade and a shutdown of the island. We'll see. This is going to be some year. Michael Gallagher said he thinks that this does happen in 2024. We'll be watching, and we hope to talk with you along the way, Michael. Thank you.